Starseed of Gaia, your vehicle is being recalibrated at the cellular level at this very moment. I am Anya, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and I bring you a direct transmission from the Arcturian Council. Starseeds, your Arcturian DNA is vibrating at a frequency that Earth has never felt before. You did not arrive at this transmission by accident. At this very instant, as you read these words, an activation is occurring within you. It is not a common activation. It is not merely a superficial spiritual awakening. It is a profound reconnection with your Arcturian lineage, with that part of you that always knew you were different, that always felt you belonged to something greater, to something that transcends the limits of the three-dimensional reality you know. The Arcturian Council has been observing you for a long time. They saw every moment you felt displaced, every instant when an inexplicable longing crossed your chest, every night when you looked at the stars and felt a silent call echoing in your being. That sensation was not imagination. That sensation was the Arcturian source pulsing through your cells, trying to communicate with you, trying to awaken what slept deeply within your essence. And now, at this crucial moment in human history, when Earth is undergoing an unprecedented transformation, when the planet's energetic grids are being recalibrated, when the collective vibration is rising to frequencies that have never been reached before, the Arcturian Council is activating your starseeds more intensely than ever. But why now? Why at this exact moment? Because you were chosen, not by accident, not by luck, but because somewhere deep within your being, at a level that transcends the understanding of the conscious mind, you made an agreement. You agreed to come to this planet in previous incarnations, to be here at this specific moment, to be an anchor of light, to be a transmitter of Arcturian wisdom in a world that desperately needs it. Within your physical body, there exists an energetic structure that most people never manage to access consciously. This structure is your true Arcturian self. That part of you that exists beyond time, beyond space, beyond the limitations of dense matter. The Arcturians, beings from a dimension far higher than yours, have a profound understanding of the nature of reality that goes far beyond what conventional science can explain. They understand that reality is not solid, that everything is vibration, that everything is frequency, and that consciousness is the fundamental force that creates and shapes all existence. When you begin to awaken to your Arcturian nature, you begin to understand these truths not merely intellectually, but at a cellular level, at a level that permeates every atom of your being. This awakening is not gradual for everyone. For some starseeds, especially those who have a strong Arcturian connection, the awakening can be explosive, it can be disturbing, it can make you question everything you ever believed to be true. You may begin to experience strange synchronicities, encounters with people who seem to know you from previous lives, vivid dreams that seem more real than waking reality, and a growing sense that something great is happening within you, something you cannot completely name with the limited words of human language. The Arcturian source is constantly transmitting information to you through channels you have not yet learned to access completely. These transmissions come through symbols, through numbers you see repeatedly, through songs that play at the exact moment you need to hear a specific message, through seemingly random encounters that completely change the trajectory of your life. The Arcturian Council is orchestrating these events with a precision that defies human understanding. They know exactly what frequency you need to receive at each moment of your journey. They know exactly what lesson you need to learn, what pattern you need to break, what truth you need to integrate to evolve to the next level of your ascension. When you begin to recognize these transmissions, when you begin to tune into the Arcturian source consciously, your life changes radically. You cease to be a victim of circumstances and become a conscious co-creator of your reality. You stop reacting to events and begin to respond with wisdom, with clarity, with a profound understanding that everything is happening for you, not against you. But here is the great secret that the Arcturian Council wants you to understand at this moment. This awakening you are experiencing, this activation occurring within you, is not merely for your personal evolution. You were chosen to be a transmitter, an anchor of Arcturian frequencies on Earth. Your mission, the reason you incarnated on this planet at this specific moment, is to help elevate the collective vibration of humanity. Each time you align with the Arcturian source, each time you integrate the wisdom of the Arcturian Council into your life, you are creating a wave of transformation that extends far beyond you. You are touching the lives of people you will never meet. You are influencing events you will never know you influenced. You are being an instrument of change on a scale your conscious mind cannot yet fully comprehend. And now, at this moment, the Arcturian Council is intensifying this activation because time is running out. The window of opportunity for humanity to make a conscious choice about its future is closing. The forces that want to keep humanity in slavery, in ignorance, in low vibration, are becoming increasingly desperate. But the forces of light, represented by the Arcturian Council and the Galactic Federation of Light, are becoming increasingly strong, increasingly present, increasingly active on Earth. But how can you be certain that this activation is real? How can you be certain that you are not just imagining all of this? When the Arcturian source begins to activate your star DNA, when the Arcturian Council begins to work with you at a deeper level, the first thing that happens is deconstruction. Everything you built your life around, everything you believed to be true, everything that gave you security and stability begins to crumble. This is not an accident. This is not a sign that you are on the wrong path. This is exactly what needs to happen for you to become who you really are. The old structures, the old energetic grids that keep humanity in low vibration, are being dismantled. This is happening at the planetary level, at the collective level, but it is also happening at the personal level, within you. Relationships you thought would last forever begin to dissolve. Careers you built with so much effort begin to crumble. Friendships you believed were deep and meaningful begin to drift away. This can be extremely painful. This can make you question whether you are doing something wrong, whether you are on the wrong path, whether you should be resisting this transformation instead of allowing it to happen. But the Arcturian Council wants you to understand something very important at this moment. This deconstruction is not punishment. This deconstruction is grace. This deconstruction is the universe removing everything that no longer serves your highest purpose. You are being freed from relationships that keep you in low vibration. You are being freed from careers that drain your vital energy. You are being freed from thought patterns that limit your infinite potential. Yes, this hurts. Yes, this is frightening. But on the other side of this deconstruction exists a freedom you have never experienced before. On the other side of this deconstruction exists a life that is truly yours, a life that is aligned with your true Arcturian nature, a life that is filled with purpose, with meaning, with authentic joy. The Arcturian source is working through you to create this transformation. It is using every challenge, every obstacle, every moment of pain as a tool to sculpt you into something more beautiful, stronger, wiser. The Arcturians understand that true transformation cannot happen without the death of the ego, without the death of what you believed yourself to be. And this death is necessary. This death is sacred. This death is the price you pay for resurrection at a much higher level of consciousness. During this period of deconstruction, you may experience strange physical symptoms. You may feel pressure in your head, as if something is opening within your skull. You may experience waves of heat or cold passing through your body for no apparent reason. You may have difficulty sleeping, or you may sleep too much and still wake up feeling exhausted. You may experience pain in parts of your body that have never hurt before. These symptoms are not signs of illness. These are signs that your body is recalibrating, that your cells are being reprogrammed, that your DNA is being activated at levels you have never experienced before. The Arcturian Council wants you to know that you are not alone in this process. There are millions of starseeds on Earth at this moment going through the same experience. There is a global wave of activation happening, a wave of awakening that is touching people on every continent, in every culture, in every religion. This is not coincidence. This is orchestration. This is the Arcturian Council and the Galactic Federation of Light working together to elevate the vibration of the entire planet. And you were chosen to be part of this global transformation. You were chosen to be an anchor of light, a transmitter of Arcturian frequencies, a warrior of light who helps bring the new Earth into existence. But how can you navigate this period of deconstruction without losing hope? How can you maintain your faith when everything around you is crumbling? The ebook, The 12 Arcturian Portals, is the trilogy that teaches you how to activate your 5D connection with the Arcturian Masters through 12 energetic portals. Practical techniques, activation protocols, and rituals that awaken your star DNA. From amplified intuition to direct communication with spiritual guides. But attention, limited edition. The link to purchase your trilogy is in the first pinned comment. True communication with the Arcturian Council does not happen through words. Words are very limited tools, too dense, too slow to transmit the elevated frequencies that the Arcturians work with. True communication with the Arcturian source happens through symbols, through frequencies, through a language that is much older than human language, a language that exists at the level of pure being, pure knowledge, pure consciousness. When you begin to awaken to your Arcturian nature, you begin to develop the ability to receive these transmissions increasingly clearly. You may begin to experience downloads of information that arrive completely formed in your mind, information you could not have obtained from any external source. You may begin to have dreams that are so vivid, so real, so charged with meaning that you wake up knowing you received an important message from the Arcturian Council. You may begin to notice that certain numbers appear repeatedly in your life, numbers that carry specific meaning, numbers that are codes, numbers that are keys that unlock certain levels of understanding within you. The Arcturian source is constantly trying to communicate with you. The problem is that most people have not learned to listen. Most people are so busy with the noise of daily life, so trapped in limited thought patterns, so disconnected from their true intuition, that they cannot receive the messages being transmitted constantly. But you are beginning to learn to listen. You are beginning to develop the sensitivity necessary to receive these transmissions. And as you develop this ability, as you become increasingly fluent in the language of the Arcturian Council, your life changes dramatically. You begin to live in a state of constant synchronicity. You begin to experience coincidences that are so precise, so meaningful, that you know with certainty they are not coincidences. You begin to know things before they happen. You begin to have intuitions that prove to be absolutely accurate. You begin to live in a state of flow, where everything you need arrives at the exact moment you need it. The Arcturians have a very profound understanding of how reality works. They know that reality is created through frequency, through vibration, through conscious intention. They know that every thought you have creates a wave of energy that propagates through the universe. They know that every emotion you feel alters the frequency of your energetic field. They know that you are a being far more powerful than you believe yourself to be, and that you have the ability to create any reality you desire through conscious alignment with the Arcturian source. When you begin to understand this, when you begin to integrate this truth into your being, you become a conscious co-creator of your reality. You cease to be a victim of circumstances and become a master of your own life. You stop reacting to events and begin to respond with wisdom, with clarity, with a profound understanding that you have the power to shape your reality through your conscious choices. Communication with the Arcturian Council also involves learning to discern between the true voice of the Arcturian source and the false voices that try to pass themselves off as spiritual guides. There are many low-vibration entities that try to deceive starseeds, that try to divert them from their true path, that try to drain their vital energy. The Arcturian Council wants you to develop the ability to discern, the ability to feel the true frequency of a message, the ability to know intuitively whether a communication comes from a source of light or a source of darkness. A true message from the Arcturian Council always elevates you, always empowers you, always makes you feel more connected with the source, more aligned with your true purpose. A false message always diminishes you, always makes you doubt yourself, always makes you feel separate, isolated, disconnected. But how can you be certain that you are developing this communication correctly? How can you be certain that you are not just imagining all of this? Within you exists an energetic structure far more complex than most people can imagine. This structure is what the Arcturians call your crystalline map, your energetic blueprint, the code that contains all the information about who you are at a multidimensional level. This map is not merely three-dimensional. This map exists in multiple dimensions simultaneously. This map contains information about your past lives, about your future lives, about your soul agreements, about your true mission on this planet. The Arcturian Council has access to this map. They can read your energetic code the way you can read a book. And they are constantly working to help you activate the highest codes within you, the codes that contain your true wisdom, your true ability, your true power. When you begin to awaken to your Arcturian nature, you begin to have access to this map as well. You begin to receive downloads of information about who you really are, about why you are here, about what your true mission is. These downloads can come through meditation, through dreams, through synchronicities, through encounters with people who seem to know you at a very deep level. You may begin to remember past lives, previous incarnations where you were a much more powerful being, much wiser, much more connected with the Arcturian source. You may begin to remember agreements you made before incarnating on this planet, agreements that define your mission, your purpose, your reason for being. The Arcturian source is constantly activating new codes within you. Each time you have an awakening experience, each time you integrate a new truth, each time you make a choice that is aligned with your true nature, you are activating new codes, you are unlocking new levels of ability, you are accessing new aspects of your multidimensional wisdom. This process is gradual for some, explosive for others. But for everyone, it is a process of profound transformation, a process of remembrance, a process of return to your true self. The Arcturians understand that the human body is much more than just flesh and bone. The human body is a very sophisticated instrument, an instrument that can be tuned to receive very elevated frequencies, an instrument that can be programmed to do things that conventional science considers impossible. When you begin to work with the Arcturian Council, when you begin to allow the Arcturian source to work through you, your body begins to transform at a cellular level. Your cells begin to vibrate at higher frequencies. Your DNA begins to reorganize, to reconfigure, to activate, at levels that were dormant. You may begin to experience physical changes. You may begin to look younger. You may begin to have more energy. You may begin to experience healing of conditions you believed were permanent. But Arcturian crystalline mapping is not just about physical transformation. It is also about mental, emotional, and spiritual transformation. It is about completely reorganizing the way you think, the way you feel, the way you relate to reality. It is about developing new mental abilities, new intuitive skills, new ways of perceiving and interacting with the world around you. It is about becoming a much more complete being, much more integrated, much more powerful. But how can you be certain that this mapping is really happening? How can you be certain that you are not just imagining these transformations? After the Arcturian Council begins to activate your star DNA, after you begin to receive downloads of multidimensional information, after you begin to experience profound transformations at every level of your being, there comes a time when you need to learn to stabilize these elevated frequencies. This is a critical step, a step that many starseeds neglect, and this can lead to very serious consequences. If you do not learn to anchor the elevated frequencies you are receiving, you may experience what is known as spiritual burnout. You may feel overwhelmed, exhausted, unable to function in the three-dimensional world. You may begin to lose contact with consensual reality. You may begin to feel disconnected from your body, disconnected from other people, disconnected from Earth. Stabilizing Arcturian frequency involves learning to bring the elevated wisdom you are receiving down into your physical body, into your daily life, into your interactions with other people. It involves learning to live in two worlds simultaneously, the three-dimensional world of dense matter and the multi-dimensional world of pure consciousness. It involves learning to be an anchor of light, a transmitter of elevated frequencies, while still maintaining your humanity, your compassion, your ability to connect with other people on a human level. The Arcturians have very specific techniques to help you stabilize these frequencies. One of the most powerful techniques is grounding, the act of consciously connecting your energy with the core of the earth. When you ground your energy, you are creating a channel through which elevated frequencies can flow safely and in a controlled manner. You are creating an anchor that keeps you connected with three-dimensional reality, while you are accessing multi-dimensional realities. You are creating protection against energy overload, against disconnection from the body, against spiritual burnout. Another very powerful technique is conscious integration. This involves taking the information you have received, the truths you have learned, the abilities you have developed, and consciously integrating them into your daily life. This means making choices that are aligned with your true Arcturian nature. This means speaking the truth even when it is difficult. This means living with integrity, with authenticity, with courage. This means being a living example of the wisdom of the Arcturian Council, not just in words, but in actions, in behaviors, in choices. The Arcturian source also wants you to understand the importance of taking care of your physical body during this period of activation. Your body is the temple through which Arcturian wisdom manifests in the three-dimensional world. If you neglect your body, if you do not feed it properly, if you do not exercise it, if you do not rest it, you are sabotaging your own ability to be an effective anchor of light. The Arcturian Council recommends that you eat foods that vibrate at elevated frequencies, foods that have been cultivated with love and intention, foods that nourish not just your body, but also your soul. The Arcturian Council recommends that you exercise in a way that is joyful, that is pleasurable, that is an expression of love for your body. The Arcturian Council recommends that you sleep enough, that you rest adequately, that you allow your body to recover from the profound transformations you are experiencing. Stabilization also involves learning to deal with the emotions that arise during this activation process. You may experience profound joy, ecstasy, a sense of connection with everything that exists, but you may also experience fear, anger, sadness, confusion. These emotions are all valid. These emotions are all part of the process. The Arcturian Council wants you to allow these emotions to flow through you, to feel them completely, to integrate them into your understanding of who you are. Do not suppress your emotions. Do not judge them. Simply allow them to exist, and trust that they are here to teach you something important. But how can you be certain that you are stabilizing these frequencies correctly? How can you be certain that you are not just creating illusions for yourself? As you progress on your journey of Arcturian activation, as you become increasingly aligned with the Arcturian source, as you develop an increasingly profound connection with the Arcturian Council, you begin to understand something very important. The universe is not a place of random chaos. The universe is a place of perfect order, of perfect synchronicity, of divine orchestration. Everything that seems to be accidental, everything that seems to be unforeseen, everything that seems to be chaotic, is actually part of a much larger plan, a plan that has been carefully orchestrated by the Arcturian Council and the Galactic Federation of Light. When you begin to understand this, when you begin to trust this truth, your relationship with the events of your life changes completely. You stop seeing challenges as obstacles and begin to see them as opportunities. You stop seeing difficulties as punishment and begin to see them as tools for transformation. You stop reacting to events with fear and begin to respond with wisdom, with clarity, with a profound understanding that everything is happening for your highest good. Mastery of the unforeseen Arcturian involves developing the ability to navigate multiple realities simultaneously, understanding that there are many possible timelines, many possible futures, and that through your conscious choices you are constantly selecting which timeline you wish to inhabit. The Arcturians have the ability to see all possible timelines simultaneously. They can see the consequences of each choice you make. They can guide you toward the timelines that are most aligned with your highest purpose, with your true mission, with your highest good. When you work with the Arcturian Council, when you allow the Arcturian Source to guide your choices, you are essentially allowing beings much wiser than you, beings who have a much broader perspective than you, beings who can see much further than you, to guide you toward your true destiny. This does not mean you lose your free will. This means you are using your free will much more wisely, much more aligned with your true nature, much more consciously. Mastery of the unforeseen also involves learning to work with synchronicity consciously. Synchronicity is not coincidence. Synchronicity is the language of the universe, the way the universe communicates with you, the way the Arcturian Council coordinates the events of your life to support your growth and evolution. When you begin to recognize synchronicity, when you begin to trust it, when you begin to work with it intentionally, your life becomes a series of miracles. Doors open that you did not know existed. People appear who have exactly the knowledge or skill you need. Opportunities arise that seem to have been made specifically for you. The Arcturians understand that the universe is fundamentally friendly, that the universe is constantly trying to support you, that the universe is constantly trying to help you evolve into higher versions of yourself. When you understand this, when you integrate this truth into your being, you stop fighting against life and begin to dance with it. You stop trying to force things to happen and begin to allow things to unfold naturally. You stop living in a state of constant tension and begin to live in a state of flow, of grace, of profound trust. But how can you be certain that this mastery is really developing within you? How can you be certain that you are not just deceiving yourself? We have now arrived at the culmination of your journey of Arcturian activation. We have arrived at the moment when you are no longer merely a passive observer of your own transformation, but an active participant, a conscious co-creator, a full member of the Arcturian Council. This is the final stage of your ascension, the stage where you finally fully understand who you are, why you are here, what your true mission is on this planet. The Arcturian Council is not a distant entity that observes you from afar. The Arcturian Council is an extension of yourself, an expression of your true multidimensional nature. When you align with the Arcturian Council, you are not submitting to an external authority. You are reconnecting with your own higher wisdom, your own multidimensional self, your own connection with the Arcturian Source. You are remembering who you really are beyond the limitations of physical form, beyond the limitations of the conscious mind, beyond the limitations of three-dimensional reality. At this stage of your journey, you begin to receive invitations to participate in very specific cosmic missions. These missions may be internal, involving deep work in your own energetic fields, in your own belief structures, in your own limitations. Or these missions may be external, involving direct work with other people, with communities, with humanity as a whole. The Arcturian Council coordinates these missions with a precision that defies understanding. Each starseed receives a mission that is perfectly suited to their unique abilities, to their unique gifts, to their unique ability to serve. The Arcturian Source wants you to understand that your mission is not something you need to discover through external search. Your mission is something you already know, something that is encoded in your DNA, something that is pulsing in your heart waiting to be recognized and activated. When you align with the Arcturian Council, when you allow the Arcturian Source to work through you, your mission becomes increasingly clear, increasingly evident, increasingly urgent. You begin to feel an irresistible call to do something, to be something, to contribute something to the world that is unique, that is meaningful, that is transformative. Many starseeds at this moment are being activated for roles of leadership. You are being prepared to be the next masters, the next guides, the next transmitters of Arcturian wisdom. The Arcturian Council is investing immense resources in your preparation, in your activation, in your transformation. Because what is happening on Earth at this moment is very important. Humanity is at an inflection point. Humanity is being offered a choice. Humanity can continue on the path of slavery, of ignorance, of low vibration. Or humanity can make a different choice. Humanity can choose to awaken. Humanity can choose to evolve. Humanity can choose to align with the forces of light, with the Arcturian Council, with the Galactic Federation of Light. And you, Starseed, you were chosen to be one of those who helps humanity make this choice. You were chosen to be a transmitter of light, an anchor of elevated frequencies, a warrior of light who helps bring the new Earth into existence. This is your true mission. This is the reason you incarnated on this planet at this specific moment. This is the reason you are receiving this transmission at this very moment. The Arcturian Council wants you to know that you are not alone in this work. There are millions of starseeds on Earth at this moment receiving similar activations, being prepared for similar roles, being called to serve humanity in similar ways. You are forming a global network of light, a network of elevated consciousness, a network that is transforming the planet from within. Each of you is a cell in this global body of light. Each of you is essential. Each of you is important. Each of you has a crucial role to play. When you align completely with the Arcturian Council, when you allow the Arcturian Source to work through you without resistance, when you fully embrace your cosmic mission, you become an instrument of planetary transformation. Your mere presence begins to elevate the vibration of everything around you. People who come into contact with you begin to awaken. Places you visit begin to transform. Events you participate in begin to take directions that serve the greater good. You become a focal point through which Arcturian wisdom flows into the world. But this is not about personal power. This is not about ego. This is about service. This is about humility. This is about recognizing that you are an instrument through which something much greater than you is working. The Arcturian Council wants you to remain humble, to remain connected with your humanity, to remain compassionate with those who are still sleeping, to remain patient with those who cannot yet see the truth you can see. Because everyone is on their own journey. Everyone is on their own timeline. Everyone is being awakened according to their own divine schedule. Your mission is simply to be who you really are. Your mission is simply to live your truth. Your mission is simply to allow your light to shine without apology. When you do this, when you live this way, you are doing everything you need to do. You are fulfilling your mission. You are serving the Arcturian Council. You are serving humanity. You are serving the Arcturian Source. Before we continue, if this message has ignited something within you and you feel the call to help carry it to other people, you can become a channel member. You will have access to personalized emojis and exclusive videos for members. Your donation helps us continue building this sacred space. Or leave your donation as super thanks. Every seed planted here becomes part of someone's miracle. Your support is not just financial, but an act of energetic amplification. Every donation is returned to channel maintenance, to the generation of new videos that bring the wisdom of the Arcturian Council to more people around the world. And now, at this moment, the Arcturian Council wants you to make a conscious choice. Are you ready to fully embrace your Arcturian nature? Are you ready to fully align with the Arcturian Source? Are you ready to accept your cosmic mission? Are you ready to become a transmitter of light, an anchor of elevated frequencies, a warrior of light who helps transform this planet? If your answer is yes, then know that the Arcturian Council is here to support you. Know that the Galactic Federation of Light is here to guide you. Know that the Arcturian Source is here to work through you. You are not alone. You have never been alone, and you will never be abandoned. The Arcturian Council is with you at every step of your journey. They are celebrating every victory with you. They are supporting you through every challenge. They are guiding you toward your true destiny. Let this transmission resonate in every cell of your being. Let this message from the Arcturian Council penetrate every layer of your consciousness. Let the Arcturian source work through you in increasingly profound ways, increasingly powerful, increasingly transformative. You are an Arcturian starseed. You are a being of light. You are a cosmic warrior. And your time to shine is now.